Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Tyler Toffoli to the Calgary Flames. How about that? The Flames were rolling as it was. The GM Brad Treliving felt that they had been were in the market for a top forward. They got it. What does this do for the Calgary Flames, in your opinion, Scott Laughlin?
Well, I think, Rod, this really adds to their scoring depth. I think we had known the last couple of weeks, it became pretty clear that for Calgary, despite the fact that they might be earmarked for top spot in the Pacific, they have played really, really well, obviously, the last couple of weeks to allow them to make a maneuver like this. Brad Treliving's always been fairly active and creative in advance of the trade deadline. But what it does, to answer your question, it gives them a lot more scoring depth. We felt like, you know what, Johnny Gaudreau's having a fantastic season. He's going to reap the benefits financially from a new contract, presumably with the Calgary Flames. We know that Matthew Tkachuk's a guy that shows up game in and game out, and he produces as well. But you needed to have something in back of those guys in particular. I think that Tyler Toffoli adds to their scoring depth. Is he a streaky type player? Yeah, he is, but a lot of scorers are. The other interesting thing with regards to this is Daryl Sutter knows this player well, right? He had success with him in winning a Stanley Cup or two in Los Angeles with Tyler Toffoli. These are guys who've had success together before. This is also a situation where Montreal gets a first-rounder back.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Andrew Harris of the Toronto Argonaut. My guys said they did all the negotiating with the Argos, and then Pinball called them last minute. Did that happen with you?
Initially, I just talked to Pete Costanza, who was the running back coach in Winnipeg last year. I sent a message out to him and just said, hey, would there be any interest from Toronto about bringing me in? He said, yeah, let me get back to you. And then the next day, Pinball actually called me right out the gate. So they brought the closer in right off the jump.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome inside the RP Show, your favorite daytime sports talk show in Canada. And we say hey to our Canadian sports fan friends in the United States. It is episode number 697 of the RP Show, daytime sports talk, emanating from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in lovely Calgary, Alberta. Oh, right out of the gate, we got it going. And we welcome to the program the lovely, talented co-host and president of DuPont Media, Darren DuPont. How you doing, Moose?
I'm doing well. Although we got a bunch of snow and it's cloudy. This isn't what I'm used to for the last week or so.
Yeah, it is what it is. -3 Celsius, 26 Fahrenheit here. What are we, the Weather Channel now?
I know.
I just realized, do you have something special planned for our 700th show of the RP Show? Should come your way around Thursday or Friday.
Well, I'm glad you gave me a heads up that it's coming this week. Maybe that's when we'll have our live audience. What do you think?
That's a great idea.
How about that?
See?
Call it.
We're seconds into the show, and we were already making miracles happen.
Call it now.
Yeah. Friday's show?
Whatever day is 700.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday. Stick with us. Coming up on the program today, it's just going to be fantastic. Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames. As you heard off the intro there, the Flames, contenders. They're in it to win it. After acquiring Tyler Toffoli yesterday, Ryan Leslie will join us to speak on the big trade. And Toffoli's first session with the media is this morning. Ryan will recap that with us. Flames great Rick Nattress will be with us as well. NHL, a veteran of 11 seasons. And the great Lee Genier, a guy that really needs no introduction, but I'll introduce him to you anyways. Former NLL Executive of the Year, president of the Saskatchewan Rush, 20 seasons the VP of Sales and Marketing for the Calgary Stampeders, and also the president of the CEBL for a period of time, too. Lee Genier is going to be with us right here at Grey Eagle, so we're looking forward to that. Can you hit the Quick Six show horn, Jordan, and we will move into this daytime sports talk. This is a really big reason why you love this show, because we talk about the very latest of what's going on. And Darren, did you see Team Canada beat China 7-2 in men's hockey in Beijing this morning to move into the quarterfinals? Canada will now face Sweden in the medal round. Games starting at, 7 a.m., 6:30? Aren't ideal.
I know.
For all of those of us. But whatevs. I caught some of the game. Some was sound, some not was sound. I was running in the gym here on the treadmill, so I caught a portion of that. My crush, Mike Johnson, was doing color with Chris Cuthbert. I don't know if they were in Beijing or not. Doesn't matter. Can somebody tell me, has the curling been a little more competitive than the men's hockey? Because this game wasn't competitive. I mean, I always zero in on the goalies, and that guy for China, I felt bad for him.
I know.
He shouldn't have been playing hockey. I think he should choose another profession. And then on the other side, Canada got up 5-1, and they got into bad habits, taking bad penalties, and I'm like, why am I watching this? This isn't good hockey. This isn't competitive. I like a close game. I like to see the game played well. That's not what happened in the Canada-China game this morning. So kudos, you won and you moved on, but it wasn't a good game.
No, it wasn't. Adam Tambellini, I'm a big fan of his. He looked good. So did Jordan Wheel. But your guy, Mike Johnson, was hilarious in
He's the best color guy going.
If you didn't see on the, I think it was a power play, Tambellini's second goal, the one-timer, they were praising how hard his shot is. 95 miles an hour. He's going to let it go. They're showing the replay, and Mike's doing his thing. And then they showed it in tight. He's like, oh, he whiffed on it. It was a muffin. That was a muffin that went off the skate and through the legs of the Chinese goaltender. But, yeah, he's entertaining, and it was Canada's good, but that was not a good game.
Best hockey analyst today, Mike Johnson. Write it down. So Canada won. Canada has won its second gold medal of the Beijing Games. The trio of Isabelle Weideman, Valerie Melte, and Ivani Blondin set a new Olympic record as they beat Japan to win gold in the women's team pursuit speed skating event. Snowboarder Max Perot will be heading home from Beijing with 2 Olympic medals. The boarder from Bromont, Quebec, won the bronze in the men's big air competition after winning the slope style earlier in the games. And in men's curling, Brad Gushu's rink topped China 10-8 before dropping a 7-6 extra end decision to Russia. Gushu's team will need a win over Great Britain on Wednesday to assure Canada a spot in the medal round. That's point 1, Olympic talk. Moving on. By the way, I'm not going to say that it's not important to talk about that. I just saw the ratings. Did you see the ratings for the top 10 most watched shows in Canada this week?
No.
Top 4 were all Olympic stuff. So I get everybody's into it. But here's the thing. When the Olympics are over, the NHL is still going to be going on. And let's talk about that. In no particular order, one-timers from Monday night. In St. Paul, Minnesota, rookie Matt Boldy had his first career hat trick and added a helper to lead the Minnesota Wild to a 7-4 win over Detroit. In Seattle, Mitch Marner had a goal and 2 assists. Michael Bunting added a goal and a helper. And Toronto snapped a 2-game losing streak with a 6-2 win over Seattle. I'm sorry. My laptop just went off. Did you hear that? Did that pick up?
Yeah.
In Winnipeg, Alex DeBrincat scored his 28th goal midway through the third period, and Chicago defeated Winnipeg 3-1. DeBrincat beat Jets goalie Connor Hellebuck with a high shot at 9:42 to break a 1-1 tie. Patrick Kane had a goal and an assist, and Brandon Hagel added an empty netter. The Flower made 30 saves for the Blackhawks. Mark Scheifele scored for the Jets, and Hellebuck stopped 21 of the 23 shots he faced. Jets 2-0-1 in their previous 3 games going in. Let's talk about happy things today, not the Winnipeg Jets. It's not time to do the postmortem yet unless your area code is 204, because it's over. Let's talk about happier things. In San Jose, Stuart Skinner made 20 saves in his first career shutout, and Edmonton beat San Jose 3-0. I'm telling you, Skinner is the Oilers' best goalie. Been saying it for a while.
That?
Connor McDavid, Darnell Nurse, and Warren Fogle scored for the Oil. Former Shark Evander Kane returned to San Jose for the first time with the Oilers. He was booed every time he touched the puck. James Reimer made 36 saves as San Jose lost its 4th in a row. So the Sharks are muffins. But whatever. The Oilers need a slump buster. They need a confidence builder, and they got it. Now, the LA Kings will host the Oilers tonight. Not much rest for the Edmonton Oilers, but that's what went down Monday night. Our poll question today came from producer Clark. It's for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, and it is, which is the top team in the NHL's Pacific Division? Now, I had to look at the standings. I had to make an executive decision, Moose.
Okay.
Do we have Moose, or did we lose him on camera here? Do we have Moose?
Oh, yeah.
There we go. I had to make an executive decision because the top 4 teams as we sit here today are Vegas, Calgary, Anaheim, and L.A. But that didn't seem right to me. That didn't sit right with me.
Okay.
So the options in the poll are Vegas, Calgary, Anaheim, and Edmonton. That's the poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Who's the best team in the NHL Pacific Division? I voted for the Calgary Flames. Y'all, how are you answering that question?
I would expect, and this came up because of the Eichel coming back and the Toffoli trade. I would expect, because we're a big audience in Western Canada, that Edmonton and Calgary will get the votes. I think Vegas is the better team. I don't know where they're at with Mark Stone, but getting Jack Eichel back, and if Stone can get back into the lineup by the playoffs or whenever that happens, how they finagle the cap, I think Vegas is the best team right now, but it's really tight.
Well, I'll tell you, Jason in Red Deer watching says 100% the Flames are the best team right now, maybe even the best in the league. From Chris, she says, Flames top team. Yeah. BW checking in on YouTube. Good morning. I will tell you that everybody is getting down in this town about the Calgary Flames, and I am just pleased as punch that it looks like we're going to be here through the spring and what should be a long Calgary Flames playoff run. I'm just happy to have a front row seat, which incidentally, I have a point here, NHL tonight. That's like 0.5 Moose, so we'll get to that in a minute. But the Flames are home to Columbus tonight, and you and I are going. So that's exciting.
Very
We
exciting.
knew when we got back to Calgary this was going to be awesome. The Anaheim Ducks are here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be hockey every night. And I got some WHL responsibilities and duties have come up here in Alberta for me. I got my Wheat Kings jacket on today. Bob's your uncle. Things are good.
Bob's your uncle.
I'm just going to read a quick one here on the NFL. This is the story I was referring to yesterday, Darren. The NFL, I'm reading it from a Wire story, the NFL never stops making news. Even after the Super Bowl, pro football doesn't fade from view. Next up is the scouting combine in 2 weeks, followed by free agency in mid-March and key owners' meetings at the end of that month. Then the draft in late April, this year in Vegas, where even the fountains at Bellagio will play a role. Follow that with OTAs and mini camps. And before Rams fans have exhausted their celebrations of winning the Lombardi Trophy, training camps are opening. All of that drawing the kind of attention every other sport envies. So that's what we'll be paying attention to the NFL. But I saw this. I saw my first NFL mock draft came into my inbox, and my heart sunk into my stomach. I hate the NFL draft talk stuff. I don't like it.
I know you don't.
Do you like it?
Not as much, because I don't watch a ton of college football. When we get closer to it, I'll be more into it. But yeah, there's such a huge audience for that thing.
Right. As always, I'm the fish swimming upstream on it, but it was exciting last year with all the quarterbacks going in. That I get. This year, there's not one quarterback, I don't think, in the top 5
I know.
expected to go. I'm like, no, turn it off. Anyways, I'm going to jump on. Well, I'll read the Raptors for the Raptors fans that are watching. C.J. McCollum scored 23 points, and the New Orleans Pelicans shot a season-best 58.4% to defeat the Raptors 120-90 in New Orleans. Yeah, Fred VanVleet scored 20, and Spicy P added 18 for Toronto. They've lost 2 straight after an 8-game win streak. I've got 0.6. I'm jumping all out of order here, but Coyotes Arena. You've been asking me, and incidentally, it's 11:11 in the Heartland. Ooh, pay attention to your thought. The time is now. I did a little reading. Moose has been after me. It was like Sunday, I think. He's like, ask me on the air about the Coyotes Arena thing. I want to talk about the Coyotes Arena thing. And I'm like, oh, boy. Last night over our Valentine's buffet, I'm like, what do you want to talk about this for, Mike? Stab me. But you want to talk. So I did a little reading,
okay.
And now I have my take on the Coyotes Arena situation. They're going to be playing in an arena at ASU, Arizona State University campus in Tempe, that's between 3,500 and 5,000 seats. I've done my reading. I've done my research. It's not totally off what I thought, but I did learn some stuff on it. What's your opinion on what the Coyotes are going to do for the next 3 years?
I think it's a good opportunity for the Coyotes to create some buzz. That's what I think. And I think, it takes the pressure off of ticket sellers and, the branding people to try and fill 15,000 seats, right? Or 13,000 seats or whatever. All you got to do is try and fill 5.
Yeah.
All you have to do is create a good atmosphere. They could play, and I know people say, oh, the rink sucks, and it's not a great rink, and it's not NHL quality. They could go play in the old Rutherford rink in Saskatoon. I know it's burned to the ground, but a 100-year-old rink with concrete everywhere that fit 800 to 1,400 people, doesn't matter. When a building is full, there's nothing better than that atmosphere. When the fans are right on top of the players, and visiting teams are going to go into a 5,000-seat arena, and it's going to be loud if you get 5,000 people in there and create an atmosphere. So here's an opportunity to create a really strong brand in the desert. And then when you go to 15,000 seats, you'll pre-sell tickets. There'll be some demand, right? And if this team ever snuck into the playoffs with a 5,000-seat arena, I mean, there's a recipe there for some success.
Interesting that you could be so wrong. Patrolman Pete, watching in Winnipeg, says that arena is perfect, ... for the Winnipeg Ice. From John Ohm in Winnipeg, he says 5,000 seats. What a joke. Move them now, NHL. From my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat, she says brutal. I again find it astounding how much people care about the Coyotes arena situation. And that's fine. Here's your daily reminder that we are broadcasting live on Game Plus Television Network out of Toronto, airing in all 10 Canadian provinces and 31 U.S. states, and adding more as we speak. Jason in Red Deer says, so the Coyotes' attendance will be basically the same, but they can't or won't be paying the giant lease fees. However, they will also not be making any money from concessions. I'm shocked that that's your stance, that it would create a buzz because it's a smaller arena. You had your chance, now's mine. What I looked up in this whole scenario is that they don't have a deal or anything for a new arena, because I've been thinking, you're not old enough, Grasshopper, to remember when the Flames moved here from Atlanta and they played in the Corral, which Calgarians, help me out, what did it seat, 7,000? Nobody, and I mean nobody, had a problem with the Flames playing in the Corral because they knew the Saddle Dome was being built right across the parking lot. If you wanted to have some sort of thought about where we're going, you just had to open the door and look. Oh, there's the Saddle Dome. That must be the greatest rink in the NHL. They don't have a deal for a new arena. So the linchpin in this situation for Arizona is this. Gary Bettman, the NHL commissioner, knows the owner, Alex Murillo, has more money than God. And to me, I don't know all the details here, but commissioners love one thing: infinitely wealthy and rich owners. That's it. They're the guys that keep the leagues afloat. If the owners in Arizona were broke, I think the team would be gone. And why I don't like them moving to the arena, and why I think that you're wrong on this, is that if they had a deal struck and land designated, which they currently don't even have that for a new arena, I would say, okay, like we had here in Calgary, a bridge to the next arena. They don't have that. So you're big on perception, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're big on it. The perception is terrible that a big league team is playing in a minor league rink. And I've seen media here in Alberta say there's teams in the AJ that have nicer rinks than this one at ASU. The perception, Darren, is terrible for the National Hockey League. And you can't tell me that Gary Bettman isn't plugging his nose when he announces that he's okay with this. It's only because Morello, the owner of the Coyotes, will never go broke, ever. And that's what Gary Bettman wants. We need to take a timeout, okay? And we'll continue this when we come back. On the way, Lee Genier, Ryan Leslie, and Rick Nattress. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network. YouTube Live as well, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
The place to be, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. That's where we're at, specifically in the event center. The grandfather of redneck comedy coming your way May 28th. Go to greyeagle.com to reserve your tickets. It is daytime sports talk, and that's why you love it. We're broadcasting on Game Plus TV across all 10 provinces and 31 states, and we also stream on YouTube for those that don't have it on their cable carrier. Moose DuPont's with me, as you can see. Coming up on the program today, Rick Nattress, Ryan Leslie, and Lee Genier. I'm enjoying... We got our stuff out of the way. Now, let's hear from the viewers, okay? Yeah. And I'll get to that 902 text line in a moment. I still don't understand Canadians' fascination with the Coyotes arena situation. What is the deal?
I know.
They're my third favorite team, maybe fourth now, and I don't care. I don't get it. But anyways.
So many people that care about it, and you wonder why the building's empty.
If everybody that cared bought a ticket... No, you get it.
I get it.
Darren in Salt Lake City says the Coyotes should be given a deadline to get a new arena secured. If they don't meet it, they need to be moved. Fair. Gino DePauli, the voice of the Oilers, watching. Fellas, how are ya? He says. How you now? Oh, not so bad. Welcome to God's country again. Brooks Bandits versus Okotoks Oilers Saturday night. If you're looking for something to do, listen, I'm going to be behind the microphone for the Winnipeg Ice and Red Deer Rebels. Did I tell you that?
You did.
Saturday night. So, Gino, let's just pick another night and I'll be there. Jeff the Stamps fan texts and says Stampede Corral sat approximately 7,500. Sorry, I said 7,000.
Whoops.
First ever Calgary Hitman victory was against the Regina Pats, and I called it. The winning goal scored by Boris Protsenko, the Ukrainian nightmare, in, I believe, 1995. And what I do remember about that game was that the boards came up to the guy's shoulders. Guys were getting hit. Very high boards in the corral. That's what the guys told me after the game. Robin Wildy watching in Prince Albert, the gateway to the north. He says Biznasty's defending the move there. Of course he is. He works for the Coyotes. Come on, Robin. Listen, did you see the interview that we had with Biznasty when he was on the air? Because I'll tell you a story. I was listening to the Coyotes pregame show one day, driving to the rink in Arizona. And Biznasty's on the air. This was 4 years ago. And he's on the radio saying that the Coyotes are in year 3 of a 5-year rebuild. And I'm like, 5-year rebuild? We got to the arena, or I got to the arena. I'm riding the elevator up with Biz, and I said, really? Come on. Really, Biz? They're in year 3 of a 5. What are you talking about? And he's like, got to sell it, man. Got to sell it. Oh, I know. And by the way, where are the Coyotes today on that rebuild? Can you please tell me?
That's like year 15, I think.
They're the worst team in the Western Conference. Again. And back to that Coyotes thing. You said, tell me what you said in the break about it being a novelty for the players or something.
Yeah, and I obviously it's not a long-term thing for the league to want to keep them in there longer than the 3 years or whatever. That's not a permanent thing, right? And when you said, perception, well, the perception is just not good now. So for me, it's like, from a business perspective, what do you got to lose? It can't get worse. So let's take a shot to create some sort of an atmosphere. And for the players, like, there's some good and bad here because, going into Arizona now, and it's like, we're going to play in front of like 6,000 people in this empty building.
For the visiting team?
Yeah, for the visiting team. It's like, here we go. Let's go to the emptiest, quietest building. Now, it could be, we're going to go to this tiny little rink. It's going to be bonkers with 5,000 people jammed in there like sardines, and it's going to be great. Now, these players are going to be, changing out of an Atco trailer and in terrible conditions. It won't be like NHL. So give and take. I think it's a decent gamble to make to try and create something.
Overall, I just think it's a grease fire. And how do you put out a grease fire? How do you put out a grease fire?
I know, right? You got to get in there at the bottom.
And I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a chef. There's no answer to this. It's a disaster. That's my point.
Yeah.
Patrolman Pete writes in and says, looking forward to your radio call of the ice this weekend, Rod. Go, ice, go. You brought my ice gear, right?
I
love it. Well, hey. And Patrolman Pete goes on to say, Moose, if there's no new rink under construction, it's permanent. That's what I'm saying. The fact that they don't have any location determined yet for a new arena, let alone starting to build one, what's it, 2-year build?
Yeah.
They're not getting a new rink, man. This is not going to end well. So anyways, Love Face is back, by the way.
Welcome. Mm-hmm. And if you can't sell 5,000 tickets, you got to move.
Okay, the women are writing in. Friends of mine, cousin Christine and Jennifer from the Four Seasons say, with a grease fire, you put a lid on it.
Suck out all the oxygen.
You just can't move the grease fire to another city. Can we just move the grease fire to Houston? They're all saying, you smother it. How do you smother in the Coyote situation?
Well, you smother it to get one of the elements of fire. You need oxygen. Get rid of the oxygen. So,
okay.
Take that for what you will.
That's enough on the Coyotes arena situation. And thank you for the help. If I ever find myself with a grease fire again, I'll know what to do.
Not water.
Here we go. Ian in Calgary is watching on Game Plus TV. If you're watching on Game Plus TV anywhere across Canada or the United States, but specifically Alberta, pick up the phone and text RP, Rod Pedersen, 902-518-3033. Ian in Calgary says, hey, Rod, question for today's podcast. Might be something you bring up later, but how do you think Toffoli will fit in with the Flames? He's got quite a few connections to the Flames players and staff. Personally, I don't see much adjustment period. Oh, I think he's going to fit it like a glove. We talked about him leading the Habs in scoring last year. We talked about him being a key member of the Montreal Stanley Cup run last year. I was reading the Twitter feed of Mike Johnson. I finally found Mike Johnson on Twitter, by the way. And he said, Tyler Toffoli represented the Montreal Canadiens with class. He knew everything about that organization, and forget about on ice. He'd be tough to replace off ice. In Montreal, Tyler Toffoli. He's going to fit in great. And by the way, I feel like that Calgary Flames locker room would be like walking into the bar in Star Wars. You remember Boba Fett sitting there, Jabba, like, what? Think about it. Matthew Tkachuk, Milan Lucic, Johnny Hockey.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's an eclectic bunch now.
You know, is it the right group?
Characters. But I think they have character. And Tyler Toffoli's only going to help that. You know the scene that I'm talking about?
Yeah, you think all those guys, and then Daryl Sutter's kind of commanding all of them.
He's like, Obi-Wan.
Right.
Randy from Winnipeg. Good morning, RP crew. He says, it's close, but I'll pick Vegas over the Flames. Side note, Johnny Gaudreau leads the league in plus-minus at plus 36. Isn't that something? What Daryl Sutter or Jared Stoll told us last week in L.A., incidentally, 1 week ago today.
Yeah.
Where's time going?
I know.
But anyways, Jared Stoll said he was watching the Flames from afar going, Daryl's either going to break that kid or make that. Johnny Gaudreau, all-star this year. And you just said, Randy, plus 36 to lead the NHL. How about that? Now they're talking about him re-signing with Calgary. In the last few years, what did we see? We watched the games. We heard he was disinterested. We heard that there was a culture problem here. Now, they might be the best team in the NHL's Western Conference. Forget about the Pacific Division. Jeff Mooney's watching in the Bridge City regarding Team China in men's hockey at the Olympics. He said half of China's team is Canadian hockey players. Both goalies are Canadian. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily make them good. I'm going to say it again. That goalie was diving all over the place. He scored on a fanned-on shot, which happens to the NHLers too, but he just didn't look good. I just thought that was a bad, sloppy hockey game this morning, Canada beating China. Now, I think the games will get better. Canada's already lost to the United States, right? So, once. So, the games, I think, will pick up. But this game this morning was B-A-D, bad. Have you watched much Olympics, Moose?
A little bit. Watched, again, I was into the half pipe, some of the snowboarding events. I was up watching the hockey game and curling this morning, too. Tough one for Gushu. I've been watching the men's curling. And he needs some help now. He's in a must-win situation to get into the playoff. So he's got to win his next game against Great Britain, who are, I think, 5-1 or 6-1. They've been really good.
Ryan, watching in Saratoga, New York, says, speaking of grease fires, Loveface is back. That's the online exotic dancer that comes into the YouTube section and scintillates our viewers. Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg says Loveface should pony up and become an official RP show sponsor. Why? Loveface doesn't need to.
Doesn't need to.
Just writing into the comment section all the time.
Getting the pub for free.
Why buy the cow? Renata watching on YouTube and says, Oil needs a goalie. Not according to last night when Stuart Skinner recorded the shutty. If the Oilers actually commit to defense for once, they still need a goalie, but if they play team defense, it'll help.
For a moment last night, it was like an old WHL game. Zach Sawchenko went in, the former Moose Jaw Warrior goal.
Outstanding goaltender, by the way.
He went to the U of A and killed it with the Golden Bears. And when Reimer had to go out, I don't know if it was an equipment thing or what, it was Skinner and Sawchenko. It was like an old playoff game in the Western League.
I don't want to get into it other than I saw Zach Sawchenko when he was 16 with the Moose Jaw Warriors, and I'm like, that's an NHL goalie. Next thing you know, he's going to the U of A at 20. I'm like,
yeah, left early.
There's clearly a story behind that I'm not sure that I even want to get into. All I know is he ended up in the NHL, and he took a circuitous road. Moose, I'm going to let you go, and I'll bring you back an hour or two, okay? A sports update here before we go any further. Canada has its second gold medal of the Beijing Games. The women's pursuit speed skating team of Valerie Malte, Ivani Blondin, and Isabelle Weideman defeated Japan in the A final in an Olympic record time of 2 minutes, 53.44 seconds. Snowboarder Max Perot, who won Canada's first gold in men's slopestyle, claimed bronze in the big air. The Western Hockey League announced that Regina Pats forward Conor Bedard has been named WHL Player of the Week. The 16-year-old earns his second consecutive Player of the Week honor following a 7-day stretch in which he recorded a league-best 9 points over 3 appearances, factoring in on all but one of Regina's goals during that span. And he's still in the Ram 1v1, what do you call it, highlight of the night? It's one really great thing about coming back to Canada is TSN Sports Center. I love it. Meanwhile, Vancouver Giants goalie Jasper Vickmann has been named WHL Goalie of the Week. The Vegas Golden Knights prospect made 58 saves in a pair of road wins versus the Prince George Cougars, posting a 1.00 goals against average and a .967 save percentage in the process. Not much downtime for Jay Woodcroft and the Edmonton Oilers. Woodcroft improved to 2-0 as Oilers interim coach with their 3-0 road win over the San Jose Sharks. Oilers visit the LA Kings tonight. Ottawa hosts the St. Louis Blues, the Sens' 6th game in 9 days. This also marks Ottawa's first contest against the Blues since October of 2019. Elsewhere, the Flames host the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight and will be at it. And center Jack Eichel will make his Vegas debut Wednesday night when the Golden Knights host Colorado. Eichel hasn't played since last March with the Buffalo Sabres because of a neck ailment. Vegas placed forward Mark Stone on the injured list with a back injury to make room for Eichel under the NHL salary cap. This sports update brought to you by Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Rick Nattress to analyze the NHL coming up. Also on the way, Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames and sports executive Lee Genier. We're coming to you live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. You're watching on the Game Plus television network. Also live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time.
rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
You're looking live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. It's the home to our residency for 25 shows in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, just off Glenmore Trail. And I'll tell you something. This city is very excited. The Flames are home to the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. Tyler Toffoli will be in the lineup, acquired from the Montreal Canadiens Monday, and joining us to talk about it, Rick Nattress, a veteran of 11 NHL seasons, 536 games, and a Stanley Cup champion with these Calgary Flames. Rick, I appreciate you spending the time with us today. I know you're following this situation very closely, and have you sensed how excited Calgary is now? That was a real cue that this is a Stanley Cup run. Flames are in it to win it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody seems to say that all the time when they make a big deal, but I think this is a good one. They needed some more depth, Calgary, and Toffoli's. You see him, it's funny. The cost of these players, Rod, you know what I mean? Like, you look at Toffoli and he's only, broken the 30-goal plateau once in his career, back in 13-14, I believe it was. So, I mean, this is a guy that's consistent, plays a 200-foot game, but what you're giving up for guys. So just imagine if they would have waited, 6 weeks or so or whatever it is to the trade deadline, and what they would have had to pay for that. So I think it's an early move, a good move. We're seeing that more in today's game, that they're trying to get the bigger acquisitions, I guess, before the trade deadline, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks before that, to see if they can gel, because we've seen a lot of these late season additions not really gel the first or the time remaining they have when they get to their new teams.
You know what, Rick? Isn't it interesting you say that, because it's happening in junior too. They're making trades. Yeah. The best teams are making trades a couple months ahead of the deadline rather than that flurry on the last day. What do you think that says about Brad Treliving and his approach with the Flames this year?
Well, and I like Brad because, when I had my show with the fan in Toronto there, and he used to come on when he was the assistant GM at Phoenix. So he was very honest, and you like guys like that, right? I mean, you know that, right, Bud? We're not asking brain surgery questions, but can you at least get us to the point where we're trying to get to? So I think Brad has stated in the past, but he's liked Toffoli for a long time. So, I mean, with Daryl being there as well in the film there, that came out already, but, they know each other. That was a little quicker to get there. But they know each other. So he's got 6 years under Daryl, a Stanley Cup under Daryl. Treliving wants him. Lucic is one of his best buddies. He also has played with 3 or 4 guys when he was in Vancouver, and he's also, Monahan, he was with the World Juniors. So there's that fit already. there's that fit already in the need. So I think it solidifies as their top three. As we know, in today's game, you can't get through with 4 defensemen. You can't get through with 2 lines. You need at least 3 strong ones, and the fourth one's got to be, can compete and can be heavy and not take penalties. And you need your 5th and 6th defenseman to be, that can eat some minutes. And we're not talking 7 or 8 minutes when it comes to the playoffs. So I think Calgary's done a good job. I've watched them. Of course, I watch them as much as I can. And I've watched them the last little while. And certainly the win against Toronto, goaltending has been an issue in Calgary, and I think they solved that problem, right? So I like where they're going, and this just solidifies their depth a little bit more.
I'm going to ask you about Montreal in a second and the sell-off there, but just with somebody asked here earlier on the show how I felt Toffoli would fit in, and I said there's some interesting characters here, right? Can you imagine walking into that dressing room now with Lucic and Tkachuk, and there's some characters, and I think there is character, but I didn't think they needed a lot. I've been in Calgary a while. I've saw them blow out the Blues 7-1. They've got a darn good team. Do you think they're done here with Toffoli, or what do you think that they could add or should add?
Well, again, and I'm not familiar with their depth on the back end. I like what they've done with the 2 big boys playing 5 and 6 in the back there in their defense. But I'm not sure what they have for 7 or 8. And we see Giordano. If you watched the Leaf and the Kraken play last night, there was a lot of talk of Giordano already leaving. His first year with Seattle and the captaincy and all that kind of stuff. So, you can't get enough defensemen. And we saw that, back when I played, with the Flames, it was always difficult for that guy that fell into that 5, 6, 7, even 8 spot, when you have a lot of talent. But if you don't have those guys, I think, a forward, you can sort of massage that, you can massage that, move some guys around. But I think, with your back end, it's certainly when you can't make any more moves and you have to rely on your depth that you have, it's important to have a lot of depth on the back end. So if I was, tree living, and depending on what that piece is and how much it costs, because everybody's against the cap, and I would certainly be looking at getting a little bit more depth, with the understanding that I don't know what they have right now.
Yeah, of course. But like I said, I don't think they need a lot. This was a good team before, and it's just exciting to see that they're in. Now, what I'm hearing out of Montreal is they didn't really want to part with Toffoli. They thought a lot of him. Look what he did there in his short time with the Habs. Do you think they're doing the right thing with that move? Obviously, you were drafted by Montreal.
Well, again, yeah, well, Chris Nyland's a good friend, and he's there, and we haven't talked recently, but we've talked quite a bit, and it's certainly nothing good to be said coming into this, into the trade here. But I think, they've got 12 picks coming in to next year's draft. 2 of them are first rounders, the one they just got from Calgary, the one they own. They've got a couple guys that, Josh Anderson's got 5 years left on his term at 5.5. And, he's a big body. He's, a lot of people compare him to Leclerc when he was with Montreal, not the Leclerc that was in Philadelphia, but the Leclerc in Montreal. So, they sort of have him, and he'd be a harder move with the term he has. But if you're looking at guys like that, Petrie at 34, he's got 5 years left too. So they've got a lot of room there. But I think the Ben Sherratt one is the big one there. And we talked about defensemen, and is that possible to get under the cap with his money in Calgary? Florida. It's just amazing how these guys are. You got mathematicians working in the NHL now, how they can make this stuff work. But I think Montreal's got another first rounder and a couple more picks if they keep doing what they're doing, and that could see them have like 15 picks this coming year, and 3 of them be a first rounder. So who knows? How quick it is. Right?
Yeah, I know. A long rebuild is what they're looking at there. And who saw the bottom falling out like this? Is it as simple as saying Carey Price hasn't played a game and Shea Weber retired?
No.
Like that's the reason?
No, I think, with leadership and Weber, and they could say all that stuff, and it's a huge miss. Price, Weber. You can, you could do whatever you want. Daniel going to LA for, a checker. What's he got? 2 goals, make him 5.5. So, at the end of the day, I think Montreal, and my son-in-law, God love him, because I started my career there and I wouldn't have had 11 years without him. So they were great to me. Jacques Laperriere, Serge Savard when he was in management, all that kind of stuff. It was very difficult, but best thing that ever happened to me. But again, I think, Montreal's problem's been happening for a while, and I think it was a gunslinger, and Bergeron, myself, Mark, nice guy and everything like that, but I thought he was a little bit of a gunslinger, as we've seen other guys, do it, that are put everything up, because I think this is the move, and I think some of them look good. The Subban trade, everybody got mad, but Weber, certainly the last year or two of his career, he started coming around because he had some injury problems when he first got there. So, but I think it's a long time coming. I use an example, Rod, that, for years, and I don't want to be a homer, but I'm not. I'm a Hamilton boy and grew up loving the Leafs and got to play for them for a little bit in the Gilmore deal and work in their community. But they used to rush guys into the lineup, as we all know, in the 70s, 80s, whatever, even into the 90s, you could say a little bit. They used to rush guys into the lineup and take advantage of youth that wasn't prepared. Maybe physically they were pretty prepared to play, but mentally they weren't. And we saw what that did to them, especially on the back end for the Toronto Maple Leafs over the years. The Habs always developed. And everybody asked me, what was the difference now with the two organizations? I say, well, you got one developing and the other one rushing. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, that was Montreal. No, now it's flipped. Toronto's the one developing. Right. Toronto's the one that's putting a lot of time and effort into the development of their prospects and signings and all that kind of stuff, and even free agents coming over. Montreal has been rushing guys into their lineup for years, and I'd say even decades myself personally in the last 15 to 20 years. So I'm not surprised eventually you run out of stuff, right? Guys aren't ready. The draft, unfortunately, they haven't done a good job, let's be honest, with their first overall picks, and they've had some high ones, third, fifth, somewhere in there. So they've got to do a better job that way. And I think Montreal's got to get back to the point where you've got to develop. You have to stockpile. You have to do that. You look at Tampa. You look at any team that's had success in the National Hockey League and why they've had success and why that success has waned, because the fact is they developed all these prospects. Then they traded away to get the pieces to win a cup. And most teams have had that success. We saw it in LA. We've seen it in Tampa, and now how do you sustain that if you don't have those draft choices again? So I think Montreal's, it's been a long time coming, but they got lucky last year because you can win with the hot goaltender, and there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to be brand new coach, brand new GM. They're starting all over. We're fresh out of time. Rick, I could go on all day. Can we do this again soon?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate your time.
You bet, bud. Good chatting with you. Rick Nattress, 11-year NHL veteran, joining us talking Flames and Habs. We'll be right back with Viewer Takeover. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Also YouTube Live and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of prime. And big time, big time, big time, big time.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
We're live from the Grey Eagle Events Center. For upcoming shows, have a look over my left shoulder here on the RP Show. It is Taco Time Viewer Takeover. We don't have a lot of time for it, but that's okay. We went long with Rick Nattress, and I enjoyed it. That's my first ever chat with Rick Nattress. He's the kind of guy that we could burn up a phone bill, as Clint Malarchuk likes to say. Anyways, it is Taco Time Viewer Takeover. Remember, every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday for only $2 each. The question is, do you order hard or soft shell tacos, beef or veggie? Moose and I visited Taco Time yesterday at Chinook Center Mall and loved every second of it. To the text line, and also 1 minute remaining in the RP Show, Hour 1, regarding Friday being our 700th episode of the RP Show. Frank Limaker writes in from Airdrie, and he says, hey guys, don't tease with the live audience thing. Friday's my only day off this week, and I've already Google mapped my route to the Grey Eagle from Airdrie. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to have a live studio audience. They've kind of set up already. If I turn this camera around, you'd see there's chairs for a live audience. Don Mitchell, our Navy friend, says, we're interested in the Coyotes situation because many want to see them move to Ville de Quebec City. That ain't probably ever going to happen, Don. But anyways, there's way too many comments to get to in this time, so we'll carry it over into Hour 2. Ryan Leslie will be with us, and Lee Genier. It's the RP Show on Game Plus. Stick around. We'll be right back after this break.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Andrew Harris of the Toronto Argonauts. My guys said they did all the negotiating with the Argos and then Pinball called them last minute. Did that happen with you?
Initially, I just talked to Pete Costanza, who was the running back coach in Winnipeg last year. I sent a message out to him and just said, hey, would there be any interest from Toronto about bringing me in? He said, yeah, let me get back to you. And then the next day, Pinball actually called me right out the gate. So they brought the closer in right off the jump.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome, everybody, to the RP Show. It is hour 2 of the program, coming to you from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. Juggling things around a little bit, but you won't even notice a difference. Coming up this hour, I don't know what to say. Sports executive to the Stars, Lee Genier. I read off his star-studded resume, but we only have an hour. Lee's just getting ready to go on the set here, and the Moose is getting taken care of him. We were supposed to have Ryan Leslie with us right off the top of hour 2 from Sportsnet Flames, but a media availability with Tyler Toffoli's run long or been moved, and that's the way it works in the NHL. So I'm just going to chat with you people off the top of the show here, get to some comments, and where's the ding? They got stuff going on back there. Thank you. From Ron Thompson watching in Calgary, he writes in on the 902 text line. Rod, did you see how happy Lucic was during his interview about Toffoli coming? This is going to be fun to watch. And regarding the Coyotes arena situation, which they're going to play out of a 5,000-seat arena-ish, something like that, in Tempe, Arizona, Darren says he thinks it's good. It'll create demand. I think it's terrible for perception, and they don't even have a plan for a new rink in Phoenix. Grease fire. Ray is watching in Scarborough, Ontario. He writes in and he says, hey, Rod, time to accept the fact that the NHL is not working in Arizona. I disagree with Moose on the perception. The perception is not good that a major league team is playing in a 3,000-seat rink. That from Ray in the 6. And our poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center, Capital with dealerships all across the prairies, who is the best team in the NHL's Pacific Division? Vegas, Calgary, Edmonton, or Anaheim? Running away with it right now are the Calgary Flames, and they're home tonight to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and will be there. Enough preamble. This guy, by the way, brought in his Grey Cup Championship ring. One of them. I matched it with my Ryder ring, Lee. I have it too. Lee Genier, can we get him on? How you doing, my man?
Fantastic.
Pull that mic right up into your I appreciate you coming down here. Listen, NLL Executive of the Year with the Saskatchewan Rush, championship, a couple rings there. NLL, as I say, Executive of the Year, CEBL, championship with the Rattlers, oversaw the launch of the whole league. And how many years with the Calgary Stampeders?
19.
19 years. And how many Grey Cups?
3. Should have been more, but 3.
We all say that.
Yeah.
How many rings in that span?
And three rings there.
Oh, sorry, in 19 years. Right, sorry.
Yeah.
So the guy knows how to win, and he knows what he's doing, and he joins us down here at Grey Eagle today. How's life, man?
Life is good. Life's busy. Life's good. So I can't complain.
Yeah, well, hey, how about this facility? You came down and joined us for supper here the last stint. We were here a few weeks ago. This is a jewel.
It really is. It is a fantastic facility from the casino to the event center. It's awesome.
Yeah. I know what I forgot. The Olympics.
Right. Spent 5 years in the Olympic world. So.
Yeah, well, right out of Calgary, right?
Yeah.
But what was that experience like?
Oh, it's fantastic. Running bobsleigh, skeleton, and so 2010, 2014 in Sochi, winning goal was, hey man, it doesn't get much bigger than that, so it was fantastic.
And the odd thing is, you and I just discovered that we went to Mount Royal College at the exact same time.
We were probably bumping into each other in the hallways.
That would be, or the odd house party or res party. Yeah, exactly. Lee, I got to tell you, let's start here. How excited this town is with this Toffoli trade and this run that it looks like is coming for the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, I mean, the city needs it. I think it's great. I mean, Daryl's doing a great job with the team. And, this is a hockey town, so it's great to see. And it's great to be back in the top of the pack. So.
Well, you're a born and raised Calgarian, so I've been in and out, as you know. I don't really recall this city buzzing as much as it is to this degree at this point in the season. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, the last real big buzz, I think, was probably 2004 when, the whole Red Mile that was, you had 100,000 people on the Red Mile every night. So went down to the Stanley Cup final, and we all know how that got stolen. So, hey, so the buzz is good, so let's just keep it rolling.
Yeah, like literally 18 years since. So, and here's the thing with Lee. You jump in with anything you want to talk about, Lee, because we could go everywhere. There's a lot of topics that we could get to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm at your mercy. Just be kind.
Well, of course I'm going to be kind, but we needed to clarify something. Moose and I were having a very quaint Valentine's dinner last night, and here at Grey Eagle, and Lee called and said, "What did you guys say about me yesterday?" And we talked about this man, I'm going to say it, oversaw the Saskatchewan Rush moving from Edmonton Rush to Saskatoon, and you filled that place. And I'd known you quasi through CFL years, but not real well. But you called me and said, "Rod, come up and try what we have here with the NLL." I was hooked immediately, and you guys sold that barn out. You won championships, and you're not with the Rush anymore, but obviously you look back at that as I've got to think of one of your proudest achievements in time.
Yeah, I mean, I have to look back, from the day when we were moving there. And, you're talking about a city of about 250,000 people. Obviously, we named it Saskatchewan, was a provincial-based team, which, the day that we held the press conference off the back of the Bez, which is the castle on the river, we had 350 people, you name it there. Huey Lewis was having a concert later that night, so we actually had to get Huey Lewis to stop doing a sound check. And it was 38 degrees. And, I stood up and I said, we're going to sell this building out. And I know, we had Peter Lubardius, and who is a Saskatoon boy, and he had me on the radio, and he goes, "Lee," and I love Peter, one of the greatest humans on the planet, and he goes, "It's going to be a real tough sell there." And I said, "No, we're gonna sell it out." And I stood up and I did that. And a lot of media, I think, in the province had doubted that. And I said, "We're going to sell every single seat out." I think the folks from SaskTel Center didn't think that would happen. And of course, a few games in, we were 15,000.
You were rocking.
So, yeah.
But here's the thing. By the way, hour 2 of the RP show is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 beer, brewed in Saskatchewan, made with premium Saskatchewan ingredients. Original 16 is unfiltered for peak flavor. And Lee came on my show, my old radio show, and said, Saskatoon's never seen anything like this before. We're going to do all these things. We're going to fill the barn. We're going to win championships. And I'm literally, like, I knew you well enough that I'm like, Lee, you can't say that. But then you went and did it. That was the amazing thing. And that's kind of what got people a little, feathers ruffled a little yesterday, because I said that you were selling sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And I said, metaphorically speaking, but you were selling.
Yeah,
We were
selling the sizzle. Like, I went in there, and a lot of people didn't know what professional lacrosse was, or what it would look like.
Yeah.
And so, it was 98% of the fans. It was all about the entertainment. Was the music, the sizzle, our cheer team. So it was all about selling the party. And I remember sitting in an interview, and off the top of my head, it came up with this. They said, Lee, what's this going to be like? And I said, well, it's kind of like UFC meets a rock concert meets Super Bowl. And that's what it was meant to be. So, we turned the lights down in the concourse at the arena, really had a rock concert feel to it. And, the rest is kind of history. The fans, we had a great staff that made everything happen. People worked around the clock, because we only had 3 months from the time I landed. So, man, things had to happen pretty quick. So.
Yeah, well, I also was spending a lot of time in Saskatoon at that time. That was coinciding with Rough Riders training camp. As a matter of fact, I went to some games with Chris Jones, and you worked with Jones, did you not?
Many years.
Yeah, so Jonesy. I was with the games with Jones, and he was, that guy's seen everything, and I'd like to say I've seen a lot. And we were both like, this is unbelievable. But are you telling me that not every NLL game is like that across the league? Was this just a rush thing?
Well, you know what? You had to remember the team was moved from Edmonton, where it was probably at that time drawing about 2,500 fans. So you move it into a building where people, obviously Blades was the staple in SaskTel Center, and now you've got carpet on the on where the ice used to be, and you got the music pounding. You've got cheerleaders. You've got 25 goals scored a game. So it was completely different from anything anybody's seen, right? So it was a rock concert. So back to your sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was just that's maybe a great vernacular that hey, the highest per caps on booze in the house, probably in the league, and so a lot of people came and enjoyed themselves a lot. So.
Yeah, well, like you say, it was something the likes of which we'd never seen before. And as soon as I was coming home from a Rush game, I was looking at the schedule for the next one, right? I couldn't go back. And I'm a sober guy. Like, I go to these games, people are falling over at halftime. They don't even know who won, I don't think, at the end of the game.
No.
They didn't care. Now, the big question, the $64,000 question is, as much as that worked, what about where the CFL is now? I don't know if you've seen any of the fire I've been under over the past few days, where I've said we need the sizzle back in the CFL. And people say it's there right now. I'm like, it's not. It's not. I look at the numbers. It's not.
No. And you know what is I've got friends across the CFL, and it's COVID was a hard time, but let's face it, the league was on a decline before COVID. So there's a lot of issues there that aren't going to be fixed overnight. Canada has changed inherently from a diversity, perspective. So, things evolve, right? So that is a big issue. They need to get fans back at a grassroots level, because if you don't have the grassroots groundswell, you can't have sold out crowds, right? So it is going to take a long time. And, I know I'll probably take a lot of flack from my friends, and probably Scott Mitchell's probably going to call me in a few minutes and yell, but it's a great product on the field, but, again, they need to bring the sizzle, meaning back to every team, and there's some teams that do it really well, and every team just needs to get back there.
Yeah. Well, what about the stadium situation here? You went to work there every day for a long time, and I've often said my guilty pleasure is those Riders Stamps games. Back in the day, as a matter of fact, I've put both our Grey Cup rings up beside each other here. Those were the day. When I went to Mount Royal, I would go to CFL games here. I love the place, but I guess it's not up to date. Is that?
Yeah, it's 65 years old. It's the oldest stadium in the league by a long shot. So, it's when you're sitting in the stands, it's a great spot to sit and watch a game, but the back of house is getting old. And, when people go to a game, they want to be able to get a drink quickly, and if they need to use the facility. So that's a bit of a challenge, and you've seen it really hurt the crowds. Arguably, probably one of the best tailgate, and I'm all about the experience. So people will tailgate from the night before. I'd show up at work and people are tailgating, which is great. You want that. But the stadium is old. So if you command a top dollar, you want a top experience there, right? So that is going to be an issue, right? Because I don't foresee a new stadium coming anytime soon.
Right. Well, that's the thing, is there's some very smart people working in that organization. If there was an easy way to change it, they would have done it already, right? So I don't know what you do if you're the Calgary Stampeders, because God knows they've won enough.
Well, they have a great team. There's no doubt about that. Great team, and the fans, like I say, it's fallen off, and it's sad to see. But again, things change rapidly, and nothing happens overnight in going on one side, and it's not going to happen overnight coming back. So you have to really invigorate younger demographics. There's no gaming platform in CFL, which is a big part of that issue, because how do you engage the younger demographic if they're not playing on esports, right? So that is a big part of the issue. So those things inherently are going to have to be fixed holistically through the league, and get fans back. I mean, it's not, you can watch an Argos game and you arguably have one of the biggest marketing entities around
on the continent,
and
maybe in the world.
And you've got a couple thousand fans in the building in Toronto. Yet you go to a Leafs game and you can't get a ticket,
or Raptors,
or Raptors, or TFC for that matter, right? Is you can go to an Argos game on Sunday and you go to a TFC game on Tuesday and you got 30,000 people. So it's night and day.
I got one more question before I let you go. A former Stamps coach, I won't name him, he just said Stampeders fans have been spoiled. Winning's gotten boring. Would you agree with him?
Well, I don't know if winning ever gets boring. I mean, I'm a big fan of games going down to the last minute. They have been spoiled for sure, meaning that, they've had some great, they've had, you've got Dave Dickinson, one of the best coaches in the league. Huff, by far, is probably the best GM. And, you look at the players coming into Calgary, it's like a recruitment for the CFL, right? So, I think just fans got complacent is maybe it. That's kind of it. And I think it'll come back. I think it's just, they got to get out there. When I was running that, I was everywhere as well, right? Being the face of that organization. So.
Right. I just don't see people really doing that in the CFL right now. I'm going to invite you, Lee, to stick around. Are you okay to do that for a while?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just check with producer Clark in this break and see what we got happening with Ryan Leslie over at the Saddle Dome and the Tyler Toffoli media gathering. It's a big, big day, and we'll be right back. It's hour 2 of the RP Show, brought to you, of course, by Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, and we're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Sun coming up in Calgary. We're at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. As you can see, we're over in the Event Center. What a wonderful spring lineup, including the father of redneck comedy, May 28th, Jeff Foxworthy, coming to the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Check out their website for ticket information. Very big day. The Calgary Flames home to the Columbus Blue Jackets as part of a 9-game NHL slate. In moments, we're going to go to the Saddledome and join Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames. Do we have Ryan or not? Oh, it's next segment. That explains it. Okay. Well, yeah, we're going to bring Lee back on that. I'm sorry. I misheard. I misheard him. Actually, Lee can field these questions better than me. Dan Asham, watching in Winnipeg, says, could Winnipeg support an NLL team, Rod? I think it could. They certainly have the venue. Actually, Lee would be a great guy. He's just settling back into the chair here. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, no one does it better than the Stamps, yet they get no respect. I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to, if it's tailgating or on the field or what, but the Stamps do a lot of things great. Yes. Jason in Red Deer's watching, and he says, the CFL will be reinvigorated when we bring in the Canadian Arena League of Football, Lee. Let's do it. The CALF, CAF. We've been talking about Arena League. Nobody would love to see it more than me. So here's a guy that can speak on all these things. Lee, has Winnipeg ever been discussed for an NLL franchise that you know of?
Yeah, absolutely it has. And I think it would be a fantastic market for the NLL. Absolutely. I mean, great rink, 15,000. Traditionally, if you look at Winnipeg and their fan base, I think that would be a huge, huge hit in Winnipeg.
I think it'd be a huge hit anywhere. But here, let's get right down to it. And I love the NLL talk. They've just announced the team in Las Vegas. They're going to be announcing jerseys here right away. How long have they been in San Diego? Not
3 years.
Yeah, not that long.
3 years, yeah.
Right? Philadelphia? How long?
Philly, 2 years, 2.5 years.
These are all new franchises.
New York.
Right? Yeah, the Riptide were they not a relocated franchise? I think they were.
No, that was a new arena.
Well, as you know, I'm spending quite a bit of time in South Florida, and I'm saying if we could get a franchise down there, the arena in Sunrise, home of the Panthers, doesn't have much else going on. You know what I'm saying? It would be perfect. And if my friends down there are saying, yeah, but we don't know lacrosse down here. Did we know lacrosse in Saskatchewan? Did anybody know lacrosse?
No.
That shouldn't matter.
No, it's all about the entertainment. So my understanding is there is a lot of teams lined up, which you're going to hear pretty quick. I don't want to steal any thunder
That's fine.
From the NLL. But I think they've got like 7 expansion teams lined up for 2023, which it's Nick Sakevich, who was the commissioner, his vision was to take that to 30 teams. I mean, and to be quite honest, the Rush were the poster child for expansion. So you see it all over. So it's a great game, and you will see 30 teams at some point, for sure.
What do you think it means to the league to have this franchise in Las Vegas with owners Wayne Gretzky, Dustin Johnson? What does that mean?
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's going to be a destination spot for sure. I mean, it's you look at what's happening there. You've got hockey, football, baseball's coming, so it's going to be a destination spot. I know they played an exhibition game there 2 years ago, and I think it was limited success. But again, the marketing dollars that Joe Tsai has there, and I think it'll take some time, but I think it will come around.
But you're very confident in the product. For instance, when you asked me to go to the game, I'd never been to an NLL game live. I'd watched it on TV 25 years ago on TSN, but the action is so great. That's what it's not just about the entertainment in the stands. The game's great too. You're not selling crap here.
No, I mean, the game is one, it's physical. I worked in the league for years, and I still don't know what a penalty is. So, and you're seeing, it's a physical. There's a lot of fighting. There's, on average, 25 goals scored. It's a quick game, right? And the music, people are not used to that. It's kind of like a mixture of basketball and hockey, right? So, it's different from what people are saying. I mean, I can go to a lot of NHL games, and it's like watching paint dry something. But you will never get that from an NLL because it's on steroids. It's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say this about the grassroots thing. You talked about it with the CFL. I was driving around. I was being driven around Kipling. I was speaking that night at a sports banquet, and there were kids out playing lacrosse on the schoolyard. And I said to the guy driving me around, I said, "Is this a common thing? Do you have a big lacrosse program here?" And he said, "Well, the kids are into the Rush. They're not playing road hockey. They weren't playing base." Do you know where Kipling is?
Yeah.
Way southeast corner of the province. It's a long ways from Saskatoon.
Yeah, and and that reminds me, I got to give a big shout out to Don Larson from Standing Buffalo, who runs a fantastic program in southern Saskatchewan, who, again, leading to that grassroots program. So they're looking for a lot of help down there corporately. So Don, this is your big shout out.
Yeah, there you go. From the viewers, Dan Asham in Winnipeg says Calgary has a great NLL franchise, the Roughneck. Ryan McCarthy, watching in Saratoga, New York, says, "What is a penalty in the NLL?" Which is funny. You don't know because they abuse the hell out of each other. I won't even get into that. I don't understand the rules. Doesn't seem like there are that many. But speaking of penalties, I got to ask you, where you watched Super Bowl, what you thought of it. Yeah, that, and then I got more questions.
Yeah, I mean, this year, by far, I think the NFL as a whole was the best season I think I've seen in a lot of years. Just the product on the field. I mean, it was great. SoFi Stadium is fantastic. Home team being in it, it was off the charts. I thought halftime was incredible. I mean, if you looked at it, half the people there were just talking about the halftime show, and I think it peaked at 11.4 million viewers in Canada, which is astronomical.
Mm-hmm. Now, you obviously watched the ending. What did you think about the penalties on the Bengals defense?
Yeah, that was terrible. You virtually had, 0 flags. Most of the game, I think you had 2, and then, it went down, and I hate to see that game end that. It should have, like I say, it should have been won and not given to them for sure.
Well, there's a lot of people that feel that the NFL gave the Rams the win. Are you one of those people?
Well, I don't know if there's a conscious effort, but, they hadn't been calling penalties all game, and they could have called a lot more. It was face mask, they blatant, that they could have called on a replay, and they didn't. So, so, I mean, I hate to see that. Did they want the Rams to win? It always makes for a good story.
It kind of looked like they did.
Yeah.
Have you been to Super Bowls before?
I haven't, actually.
Okay, you're coming with us, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, you were a very big part, instrumental in us going to Los Angeles, by the way, and that worked out really, really good. But is it fair or unfair to compare the Grey Cup for the Super Bowl? For instance, if you were yesterday said, Rod, having been to your first Super Bowl, what would you bring back to see that the Grey Cup should incorporate? And I said, the Grey Cup doesn't need to incorporate anything. The Grey Cup is great. It's the other 51 weeks out of the year that I think the CFL could take a page out of the NFL playbook. But Grey Cups are awesome. I don't think I would change too much.
Yeah, I mean, the Grey Cup weekend itself is its own entity, right? As you have fans buy their tickets regardless if they know their team's going to be in it. So people travel from far wide, and it's kind of a big reunion, and that's the only time these fans will necessarily see each other. And that is true Canadiana. It doesn't get much better than that. I think Super Bowl, from everything you've seen, it's very corporate. Maybe $1,500 to get into this party and that party, where it's very accessible. That is the one great thing that and I've been to 30 Grey Cups, so that needs to continue, because I think that will always be the best part of CFL.
Yeah, I guess I'll say it again. I don't think Grey Cups need to change anything. That's not a problem the CFL has. But the fact of the matter is the league right now is not a big moneymaker. I was thinking about it this morning in my room here at Grey Eagle. What additional revenue streams have been brought up or thought of in COVID that don't relate to ticket sales? I don't see any in the Canadian Football League. You had mentioned to me the last time we were together that the Stampeders at one time had 30,000 season tickets. So how do we turn this league into a moneymaker again?
Well, one, you need fans, right? I mean, the truest measure of any sports team is the fans in the stands, right? Because, if you're a sponsor looking, and if stadium is a quarter full, half full, that is going to affect your sponsorship. Your TV numbers, all that needs to increase, right? So they've been doing some great things on the commercial side, where they've kind of amalgamated the entire league and selling it as a whole, as opposed to each team going out, doing their individual sponsorships. Trying to, really monetize it on a whole, which is, that's a great strategy, right? Because, you strengthen numbers. So, back in the day, you had 9 teams trying to sell the different banks. You get a little bit here. It was very fragmented.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a holistic effort across the league, which I think is great. That's a big part of it. And again, it's all about the entertainment, engaging younger fans. And I know you're going to hear that all the time, but that is the truth, right? And the grassroots part of it is absolutely massive, but understanding that Canada is changing a lot, right? Soccer is on the rise, basketball is on the rise. And so, not a lot of, last year in Calgary, I think 7 high school teams folded, or, in the last couple of years. So things on that side are on a decline, so they just have to, is bring that back. And I think Jim Mullen would probably agree. If you don't have the groundswell of the grassroots, then you can't have a strong league. That is key to going back, talking to, getting players back in the schools, university level, you name it, and getting them back to the stand.
A lot of things coming through my mind as we sit and talk about this, Lee. For one, you talk about Super Bowl. Everybody's still talking about halftime. As many are talking about the halftime show as the way the game ended with the penalty calls. Did you have any influence on Grey Cup halftime acts over the years?
To some degree. Like, we were part of, I think we put on 3 Grey Cups in Calgary. Genier always had a committee. But they were always generally, focused maybe the older demographic. Some went young, you had the Black Eyed Peas. So, you've got a demographic that might not like the younger music, so it's kind of a push and pull strategy there. So, to some degree, I did.
Yeah, well, you're never going to please everybody.
No,
so you got to do what you think is right. I appreciate the visit, Lee, as always. Thanks for helping us out to the degree you do, and we'll be seeing lots of you around Calgary.
It's always a pleasure, gentlemen. Thanks.
Sports executive and champion Lee Genier joining us here at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. When we come back, we're going to the Saddle Dome. Ryan Leslie from Sportsnet Flames will be with us. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio, rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Back at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Bit of a cloud cover this morning in Calgary, hovering around 0 Celsius, but it's game day. Calgary Flames home to the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the newest member of the Calgary Flames meeting with the media this morning at the Saddledome. Ryan Leslie hosts Flames broadcasts on Sportsnet Flames, and he joins us today on game day. I really appreciate it, Ryan, because I know how busy it is. So has Tyler Toffoli spoken yet? And, what's the reaction to the newest Calgary Flame?
Yeah, Roddy, he just wrapped up his availability with Calgary media here, so that's a good thing. We heard from Trevor Lewis this morning and certainly Daryl Sutter. Yesterday we heard from the general manager, Brad Terliving, and Milan Lucic. I guess there's a real buzz. There's a buzz in the city. I'm sure you can feel it. There's a buzz in that locker room right now. They're getting a really good piece that is seemingly a natural fit, Rod, and that is a guy who won a Stanley Cup in 2014 under Darryl, a guy who played for Kirk Muller last year in Montreal, a guy who, has played with a number of Flames, friends with Milan Lucic. In fact, Milan and his wife Brittany picked him up at the airport last night. He stayed with the Lucic family, had a big fat steak, and then went to bed. And now he was on the ice this morning on the right side of Sean Monahan and pardon me, Dylan Dubé. So we'll get a glimpse. Darryl was fairly coy today, but we'll get a glimpse of him on that line tonight and making his Flames debut wearing number 73. And I think most people in the city are pretty darn excited to get a player of that caliber, given the return, and a player who, won't disrupt anything, just seemingly add to it on a team that's won 6 straight. So pretty positive right now.
Well, this, man, I feel it. This city's going off. Now, it's somewhat new to me. It shouldn't be, but I want to ask you this, because I'm getting from our viewers that are Flames fans, what kind of guy is Tyler Toffoli? How is he going to fit in with this locker room? They want to know, is he a character guy? I would think Daryl Sutter wouldn't have acquired him if he wasn't, but what was the sense that you got from him meeting with him today?
Yeah, I had a brief chat with him after his availability, and, knowing a bunch of these guys the way I do, they have been raving about him. Milan was, he was the first guy he met when Luch went down to L.A. before he became a King, and they spend every All-Star game, every All-Star together. So, character, talking to Kirk Muller about it, and I know, Wayne Gretzky got a chance to know him in that L.A. era when Toffoli was there, and spoke glowingly about him to Kirk Muller as well. And Kirk and I had a chat about that yesterday, and so all reports are real positive. I know he was beloved in Montreal by his teammates. They were sad to see him go. And again, a seamless fit at this point. It just made a lot of sense. And, I'm not sure Brad Treliving's done at this point by a long shot. I know he's still kicking a lot of tires. And this was one that made a lot of sense with term and with the return.
So if he's on the right side of Dubé and Monahan, does that constitute the Flames' second line then?
No, that's a third line.
Wow. So talk about that then. That significant depth for a third line right winger then, and he's got a hell of a resume for a guy playing in your bottom 6 forwards, I would suggest.
Yeah, he's got a great resume, and he scored some big goals, some timely goals. It was Lewis who was reminiscing today about, him assisting Martinez on the game winner back with the Kings. Yeah, you talk about the depth. I mean, second line, when you look at Mangiapane and Blake Coleman and Michael Backlund, who centers that trio, that's your second line. They've been scoring a lot lately. The top line's been buzzing, as everybody knows. The goaltending's been pretty solid, and that defense has been kicking in the offense like crazy of late. So right now, it's like all systems go, and we'll see what that. No pressure, Tyler. You just got here, but could you get Toffoli, or rather, could you get Dubé and Monahan going? So, if that becomes a line that can score, look out. You might have something there.
It's interesting. Rick Nattress was with us last hour, Ryan, and I asked him what he thinks the Flames might need, and he said, as a defenseman who's won a Stanley Cup, because you can't have enough depth on the blue line. So could the Flames add there? Because I've told you, I think this team's pretty good even before Toffoli. We've seen them play at their best. They're a good team. And Treliving, as you said they're done. But, yeah, what do you think they might do or could do?
Well, I know that, there's a bunch of teams interested in Ben Sherratt, and why not? I know the coach some here. He's a solid, heavy player. Injured right now, and concussion, and I don't get the sense that it's going to be an ongoing issue, but I do get the sense that right now it's something that teams are, with their medical staff talking to and talking about. So, that's a player that I think a lot of teams covet, and I understand why. That's a good hockey player over there. And we'll see if that gets revisited either or other teams jump in there now. Like, as Calgary set the market, they certainly jumped the line. So we'll see if other teams want to follow suit and kind of get their work done. The team, or rather let a player fit in for more games than just however many, whatever it is, after the deadline. So I think that's why this Toffoli move is so intriguing to so many. They've got some time with him, and they've got some term with him. Now, you'd love to add some experience on that blue line, as you mentioned. And, certainly Sherratt just went to the Stanley Cup Final, so he's got some.
Well, you actually bring up a good point there with the Sherratt thing. What do the Flames have left to deal? Because Nattress kind of intimated that they might have given up too much for one guy. Like, what's left in the cupboards here to move, aside from maybe picks? But two went already in the Toffoli deal.
Yeah, no, I would respectfully disagree that, you gave up too much of this type of player. I think this also has a real message that, hey, don't forget, Rod, as we know, you've got a couple of players that you've got to deal with contractually here, superstar players in this lineup. This sort of says, hey, this guy Toffoli's around for a little while longer too, and who knows what Brad can do. Now, making money work going forward is the big thing, but I don't think in terms of picks and that kind of thing. And don't forget, you've got some players that you could potentially use if you needed to upgrade your team. I mean, remember, Brad didn't touch anything really on his roster in that move for Toffoli. So you've got some things that you could probably move around here if you had to get creative, if something sort of really caught your eye. So, yeah, I think that he's still got plenty of moves ahead of him in terms of options, I should say. Plenty of things that he can do if he wants to do it. Going forward, it'll be really interesting to see about the money, but Brad's been very diligent in that department. So you got to realize your window is now, and you have to say to your team, and I loved his quote yesterday, look, the players have done their jobs. It was time that I did mine. And that just gave this group a real charm. Remember, they'd won 6 straight, and all of a sudden now you're bringing in this guy. So you got back-to-back starting with tonight. And you've got a crazy home schedule, and this guy's going to get a look. I should point out Dan Vladar is going to get the start tonight between the pipes for Calgary. That is his first start at home, if you can imagine. So we haven't seen a lot of Vladar, save for that third period in Dallas where he actually got the win, and they went right back to Markstrom. Markstrom's going to play the bulk of this month, if not all but this game. But that's probably the big news and noteworthy between Toffoli and Vladar.
Okay, awesome. And let me just say this. Are you excited to go to the rink? Because, listen, you've been with this team through its struggles. You've been doing this a long time. And I know the players are fired up. They're like, management's in this for us. We're in it to win it. Everybody gets fired up in this scenario. Are you excited to get to the Saddledome tonight for this game against Columbus?
Well, sure. I think anytime you have something new to talk about, it's great. Anytime you have some positivity, it's great. And certainly winning makes 6 straight wins, winning makes your job easier. Everybody's walking around a little loose, a little lighter, a little fear. You're getting better quotes, you're better stories. You're having better broadcasts. That's what I care about, having better broadcasts and having better content. And certainly when the team that you cover is winning, it does make life a little easier and more eyes, more viewers. So it's a whole trickle down, and then you add a key player, and you add a little juice in the building. Food and beverages served. We're looking down the barrel of going to full capacity in time here. So can't we all use this kind of positivity right now, given the last couple of years? But certainly it's fun to go to the rink. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the time. I know you're busy. It's game day. I'll see you there tonight. Ryan, thanks for this, brother. Appreciate it.
Roddy's in the house. I love it. Welcome back to town, man.
Pro Calgary set here. What do you think?
I can't see it the way my setup is. I got 2 frames of me, but you always look good no matter what. I honestly can't even see you right now, but you're as gorgeous as ever.
How about
You're
that?
such a pro. Thanks, Ryan.
How about that?
See you tonight. How about that?
Good.
It's like the keg. See you tonight. Ryan Leslie, Sportsnet Flames, joining us from his spacious home office. When we come back, folks, it's taco time, viewer takeover, whatever the hell you want to talk about. All the things we talked about today, NFL, CFL, WHL. Did I say NHL? Whatever. It's all on the table. We'll be right back to Grey Eagle after this break. You're watching on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
All right, welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. It is overtime, proudly presented by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC and the National Hockey League. As you see, morning falling out here in the foothills of Calgary, Alberta. And you can find us at Grey Eagle for the next several weeks. I'm going to get to the comments on the text line in a moment. There's a few things that we need to talk about today, one of which is Telemiracle 46, the online 50-50 raffle is live now, okay? The Kinsman Foundation is helping people every day through the gifts of independence, mobility equipment, medical travel insurance. And we're asking you to participate in the online 50-50. A great Saskatchewan thing. It's Telemiracle 46, and we're asking you to simply buy tickets at telemiracle.com. The only stipulation is you have to be 19 years of age or over and physically in the province of Saskatchewan. So please help out Kinsman Telemiracle. Help us out as they've partnered with us to get their message out and do it today. The draw date is March the 2nd, okay? Telemiracle.com to purchase your tickets. By the way, it's Taco Time Viewer Takeover. As I said, Taco Time has over 120 locations across Canada, and today's Taco Tuesday, so it's a great day to check them out. No rants today, by the way, but there were several yesterday for Bronco Plumbing and Heating and Cooling. You can reach them at 306-781-2090 for any and all of your water softener needs. It's interesting. I put out the call to the viewers, and I said, hey, whatever you want to talk about in Viewer Takeover, hit me. Alex Fulton writes us from the Game Plus control room. He's in Toronto. And he said, Rod, what's your way too early Super Bowl 60 prediction? Now, come on, Alex. You want me to predict the Super Bowl winner 3 Super Bowls from now?
How about that?
The next Super Bowl is Super Bowl 57. LVII in Glendale, Arizona next year. So I can get down with that discussion. I can talk about next year's Super Bowl and what I think is going to happen for the 2022 NFL season. And it's interesting because being immersed in the football, people last week at Super Bowl in Los Angeles, reading all the coverage, the stats, getting involved now with NFL PR, and then the betting world, which is a huge part of the NFL world, maybe your world too, Alex. And we have a conference call with Bet Regal this afternoon. It's now 2 straight years that the home city has been in the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay won it 2 years ago. They speed bagged Kansas City. And then LA won it this year in LA with a little help from the NFL. Because I don't know, Alex, if you knew what I did before this. I was in the CFL as a play-by-play guy for 20 years, and I accused the league at times of unfair officiating, having an agenda. For instance, getting the Toronto Argonauts in the Grey Cup in 2017. People thought I was crazy at the time with certain calls that didn't go my team's way in the East Final in Toronto. Things that were said were terrible. And then, as usual, people come back around a couple years later and go, you might have been onto something. Where were you then? So don't tell me the NFL, the most powerful sports league in the world, can't pull a little levers to manipulate scenarios they want to see happen, okay? I'm not saying the Arizona Cardinals are going to be next year's Super Bowl, but what I am saying is it would be a pretty good bet because they're a team on the rise. Saw this week that Kyler Murray has come out and criticized his organization for not doing enough to get there, which has certainly got their attention and everybody else's. So you're asking me for a prediction. I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals to come out of the NFC because it's going that way. And then we would need an AFC opponent. I'd probably have to get back to you on that one, but wouldn't it be a hell of a story if the Cincinnati Bengals came back representing the AFC?
How about that?
With that chip on their shoulder and Joe Burrow, the new cool Joe or whatever the hell they're calling them. I'm not sold on Cincinnati yet, but I will say Arizona. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I think there was a remote control device in the ball at Grey Cup 2017. Convinced of it. It upsets me in a way that I've been on the air for years, not just this show, but the radio before that, just pouring my heart out every damn day, just telling you what I think. No agenda, but just telling you what I think. And then people just throw crap at me like monkeys throw at you at the zoo. I get hit with it. And then they come back around later and go, you were right. It's tiring. But I'm also used to that. Wayne in Victoria says, with Brady and Roethlisberger retiring, the young quarterbacks will be more prevalent. It's going to be entertaining. No doubt. Jason in Red Deer says Super Bowl 58 is in Las Vegas. I know. And Super Bowl 57 is in Phoenix. Zach in Calgary. So are you guys at the Flames game tonight? And tomorrow, are you going to the Hitman game at the Chief 7 Sportsplex or the Flames game? Just stay tuned, Zach. Yeah, we'll be at the Flames game tonight. Tomorrow I have another television show I have to host. I won't be able to go to the Flames and Ducks, and frankly, that's upsetting me. Tacona Powley in Winnipeg. Rod, what's that red hanky doing over your right shoulder? That's my Bo Levi Mitchell signed jersey. A gift from the Calgary Stampeders. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Rick Regan. So, boy, did Alex set us off on an interesting path. Next year's Super Bowl combatants. I'm not saying Cardinals, Bengals, but it wouldn't be the worst matchup in the world. By the way, Alex, who do you think it'll be? Forget about me. I know your boss, Sean McCormick, over there is a Chiefs fan. How about Chiefs, Cardinals? The all-red Super Bowl. I can see it now. You still watching, Alex? What do you guys think? 1 minute. Last minute of play in the RP show. Darren in Salt Lake City says Buffalo will represent the AFC in the next Super Bowl. Ho, ho, ho. Well, they're building. They're good. They're in what's becoming a tough division, but maybe we say a Buffalo-Arizona Super Bowl. That would be great. Jennifer at the Four Seasons says Packers, baby. Or are you talking about Aaron Rodgers? Packers, baby. These guys are all there asleep. They're done. They've checked out. TJ watching on YouTube says Arizona really needs one team to do well. Coyotes. Ha, ha, ha. Interesting talk on the Coyotes arena debate today. I'm not sure that we got to the bottom of anything. But it was a busy show. Great job, Clark, back there. And all the guys. Rick Nattress, Ryan Leslie, Lee Genier. We'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern right here on Game Plus TV. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bob's your uncle. I like it. Oh, no. LFG. Oh, how about that? Good one, Rod.